Hello everyone, welcome to GS Core. So this session is about daily current affairs through MCQs. So what we'll be looking at that how today's current affairs can be translated into certain MCQs. The topics that we are going to touch upon today are the following: Aadhar as an ID proof, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change's Assessment Report, the idea of hybrid mutual funds, the Namo Bharat's daily ridership and about the train, the Bubonic Plague. So let us quickly get on to the very first question. Consider the following statements, and the topic is Aadhar as an ID proof. So often if we look at the concept, underlying concept, Aadhar has been in news for the fact that what are the usage, the mandatory aspect, right? The Aadhar based payment system for Manrega, right? So therefore the coverage of these ideas are important. Now the approach that we need for this particular question is a fact plus correlation approach, wherein we need to know about the facts, for example, Aadhar Act, and the correlation, what is happening on the ground, right? The tools which come in handy for such a question include the mapping of facts and, for the correlation, the interlinkages, right? Similarly, similar kind of questions can be asked on other aspects. For example, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, right? Jal Jeevan Mission or things like that. So let us read the question. You see that this Aadhar and the clarification is the fact that the UIDAI recently issued the clarification that those relying on Aadhar proof for age should do so after an undertaking. And this made the news. So let us read the question. Consider the following statements. Aadhar is considered as a legal proof of date of birth. Under the Aadhar Act 2016, UIDAI issues unique identification number to all residents of India which has date of birth as a data point of demographics. And the option you see, they are assertion and reasoning format. So if you see that date of birth is the linkage, right? So first we need to identify whether the statements are themselves correct or incorrect, and then we will have to see the correlation, if it exists or not. So if you look at the first statement, Aadhar is considered as a legal proof for date of birth. Okay. So if you look at the UIDAI, okay, Aadhar is the proof of identity and not citizenship or date of birth. So that makes first statement incorrect. And the moment you are sure that the first statement is incorrect, immediately you can rule out certain options where both are correct. So this can be ruled out. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. This can be ruled out. Statement 1 is incorrect. This can be probable. Statement 1 is correct again. So even before reading the second statement, you have your correct answer, that is option C here. However, it is very important to read and identify correctness of second statement. Right? Under the Aadhar Act, UIDAI UIDAI issues unique identification number Aadhar to all the residents of India, which has date of birth as a data point. So that is correct. If this would have been not correct, then the statement A would have been the answer. Then the statement A would have been the answer. So it merely is a data point of demographics, and it is not by virtue of that it is a proof of citizenship or date of birth. All right. Let us move to the second question. So if we look at the second question, the IPCC Assessment Report is the concept. Right. Often the climate change is asked from multiple angles, and therefore reports, indices, rankings, initiatives become important. So again, while solving these questions, you will have to remember the mapping. When you look at IPCC as a forum or organization, you have to look at the membership, the facts about it basically, the establishment, functions, role, etc. Right? So IPCC is one body. Similar questions can be asked on WEF, WWF, and other things, for example, Solar Alliance, etc. So if you look at the format of the question in this case, the format is vague. When I say vague, you are not asked to identify which, but how many. So that can make task difficult. All right. Therefore, while using the mapping, you have to approach each statement and identify the correctness and count the number at the end. Okay. If you look at this particular statement, recently the IPCC presented an assessment report, that is the assessment report 6, which made this question possible. So let us read the question. Consider the following statements. IPCC was established by World Meteorological Organization in 1988. IPCC is divided into 3 working groups and a task force. So you see, it is asking question based on mapping, the structure, establishment, functions. IPCC publishes assessment reports based on original research by its own dedicated staff of scientists. So let us try and identify the correctness. If you look at the statement 1, that it was established by World Meteorological Organization in 1988. Okay, this statement is half correct. It was World Meteorological Organization plus United Nations Environment Program. So therefore, such lack of full details make this statement as incorrect. So the moment you have this statement as incorrect, every time do this exercise. So we are asked to find correct. So all the 3 can't be correct. So option C gets ruled out. Next, IPCC is divided into 3 working groups and a task force. So like I said, if you know the structure, right, it is correct. The group 1 deals with the physical science basis of climate change. Group 2 deals with climate change impact, adoption and vulnerability. And group 3 deals with the mitigation of climate change. Right? So that is correct. Third statement. It publishes assessment reports based by its own dedicated staff of scientists. No. it is not into original research. It is not. Okay. So it is based on the secondary information that it processes in a way, peer reviews and do that. It does not make original research. So this statement again becomes incorrect. So we clearly in this case have option A as the answer. Option A as the answer. Moving towards the next question. So this question is based on the concept of hybrid mutual funds, right? And if you look at the hybrid mutual funds, recently the report in the newspapers talked about that how hybrid mutual funds are gaining in terms of attracting investments, and hence as part of the economy the topic hybrid mutual funds become important because these concepts, terms, etc. are important. So with regards to the concepts in news or terms in news, clear mapping, term, definition and application, that is necessary. The skill which is needed as part of these questions is retention plus linkage, and through that you can easily solve this question. Just like we have hybrid mutual funds, there can be terms like stagflation. Recently there was a term called technical recession, which was in news with regards to UK and Japan. Okay, so that is something which is worthwhile to remember. Okay, so there are various types of hybrid mutual funds and the definition are given, and we are asked, the formatting is again vague. You are not asked whether 1, 2 or 3 are respectively correctly matched. How many? Okay, again, how many? So let us look at the first, balanced hybrid funds. These funds approximately balance their holdings in debt and equity. That is the combination, debt and equity, because hybrid, and since they balance, therefore they are called balanced, and hence the first one is correct. The second one, dynamic asset allocation funds. These are actually treasury products categorized as hybrid funds by SEBI due to the mix of equity, futures, debt that these funds typically deploy. Okay, rather it is not based on, things like treasury products. It is the discretion of the fund manager. The allocations can be 0 to 100% in any or many of these entities. That is why the name dynamic, and hence this statement is incorrect. The third one, equity savings funds are combination of equity, debt, futures and options. That is correct. That is correct because you have futures and options as there. So if you see 1 and 3 are correctly matched. 1 and 3 are correctly matched, and therefore the answer to this question will be B, only 2. B, only 2. Moving on to the next question. It is based on the Namo Bharat's ridership. Okay, so let me talk about the news first, which helped made this question possible. So there was a small piece about Namo Bharat. So you see, I always talk about the approach, that while there is a focus, there is a locus from where the question can be made. A simple news about increase in daily ridership, right, can ask the question about the Namo Bharat. Similarly, there are many entities like Vande Bharat, right, other infrastructure projects, schemes. For example, there was this thing like Bharat Atta. Okay, things like that, deliverables, hard product. That can be news, right? Or one nation, one fertilizers. Okay, so the concept which is underlying, the idea which is underlying is about these entities, the hard products which are in news. The hard products which are in news. So therefore, the approach should be always focus and locus. We need that skill of extrapolation to expand the universe and to see things which are beyond the news item, which are beyond the news item. Okay. So to look at this question with regards to each statement, see whether it is focus or locus, and then build your opinion on correctness or incorrectness. Okay. So let us look at the set of statements. Namo Bharat train sets are the next generation iteration of Vande Bharat train sets. No, that is incorrect. They are based on regional semi high speed connectivity project. Okay, it was designed by Alstom, right, which is a foreign company, French, European in origin, right. The regional rapid transport corridor or transport section which is underway in Delhi, Meerut, there is the trains are being operated. Okay, so the first statement is incorrect, whereas Vande Bharat have been indigenously made. All LHB coaches, modern looking aesthetics train. So that is different. Second statement. Namo Bharat train sets are made of stainless steel as opposed to Vande Bharat trains which are made of aluminium. No, both are made of steel. So this statement becomes incorrect, though there have been talks to introduce aluminium based trains, but they have not been introduced as yet. Namo Bharat train was first unveiled on Delhi Meerut RRTS system, the one I was talking about, right? This statement is correct. It's called as RapidX. So now if we look at the format, again it's a vague format where which is not asked, how many are asked. So if the third one is correct, that means we have to mark option A. Always remember, it should not be that, read the options carefully. That's third statement. By mistake C, we can mark the option C as well, just in a hurry. So avoid it. Option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. Let us move to the next topic. So this question is on the bubonic plague. So the news is that in US, particularly in Oregon, right, this bubonic case has resurfaced, and therefore this made the question possible. Okay, now obviously the approach and the concept here is diseases. Whenever you talk about diseases, causative agent is important. The transmission, medicine, vaccination, treatment, and the impact, etc., become important for the examination for us to remember and to handle these questions in a proper manner, right? So, to actually pursue this question further, let us read the statement. So, these are the underlying concepts. So, the skill should be to actually retain and relate. All right. If you see the format, here you can use the elimination because it is asking specifically which. Okay. So, the statement 1. Bubonic plague is an infection of the lymphatic system, usually resulting from the bite of an infected flea, right? Xenophysiliophosis, the oriental rat flea. If you look at the causative agent, right, it is caused by a bacteria, Bacterium Yersinia pestis, right, that is indeed being spread by this particular flea. So, this statement is correct. The moment you have this statement as correct, B and D options can be eliminated. B and D options can be eliminated. Now, let us look at the second statement. Bubonic plague is one of the 3 types of plague caused by Bacterium Yersinia pestis. Like I said, is one of the 3, right? That is again correct. That is again correct. 3 types of plagues can be caused by Bacterium Yersinia pestis. Okay, the Black Death, which was reported because the person goes black. Okay, so that was the idea which actually triggered this news. So, it is one of the 3 types of plagues which are caused. So, this statement becomes correct as well. Therefore, we have both the statements as correct. Therefore, we have both the statements as correct. Therefore, the answer is option C. Option C. Well, these were the questions which were based on today's current affairs for you. For more current affairs including these topics, you can download our ThinkU, which is a daily compilation of current affairs, right? And you will find that on our website. The link is in the description for you to download. So, it is important that you read, relate how the current affairs can transform themselves into questions. Remember all the approaches and tools being shared with you. So, that's all for today's session. Thank you.